Good morning, Bix Weir, roadtoruda.com. We are going to do something today, something I rarely ever do, and that's dive into the comment section of a YouTube video. I used to not even allow people to post comments because there's so many shills, there's so many angry people. If I talk about gold, if I talk about silver, if I talk about anything, any of my research, any of the cryptocurrencies, just a lot of angry people. Now I just leave it open for people to fight. And those of you on the road to Ruda who are out there fighting the cause for me because I'm not in the chat room, thank you for doing that. Keep up the fight. The arguments are actually, if you've followed my work for a while, the arguments are pretty simple to make. And I will show you just how simple it is to counter some of these, especially the gold and silver bugs. That was my world. I used to do that and get in there and fight the fight before the cryptos came along. But let me tell you, first of all, I did an interview with Elijah Johnson of financeandliberty.com. Elijah, I've known Elijah for a long time. Really good guy, smart guy, and he's a good interviewer. And you should really check out his site, financeandliberty.com. You can find it right down here and subscribe to his videos. He doesn't really believe in the cryptos, I don't think, not as much as I do, obviously, but he's still in the gold and silver world. That's, you know, that's where he focuses his time, and the arguments over the last couple of years have been getting so. The arguments for gold and silver are very old school arguments that people in that realm don't really understand that the world is changing. The world always changes, and they're mad that the suppression has gone on so long that they haven't got the required appreciation they need of their metals. I'm in there too. I'm mad that the bad guys have been rigging the markets. I'm still fighting that fight, 17 years later. But I showed why they did it, how they do it, using the computers that Alan Greenspan invented in the computer programs that Alan Greenspan invented in the 1960s, and how the Fed and the U.S. Treasury, all the way up to today, Steve Mnuchin was the head of IT for Goldman Sachs. What does that tell you? He's rigging computers at the basement of the U.S. Treasury. There's a computer trading floor in the basement of the U.S. Treasury, for those who didn't know. It snuck out a few years ago, and I love to talk about that one. But that's why a computer expert was put as the head of the Treasury. But right now I'm gonna dig into some of these. Now Elijah's following is mainly gold and silver bugs, and they hate the cryptos, but they're not really bright enough to understand what's going on here. So I'd ask you, listen to the interview I did with Elijah first, and then watch this video. Or watch it at the same time. I'm not going to play Elijah's video over again. You can go to his site and listen to it. And it's titled "The Future of Cryptocurrencies." But let's start talking about. I knew. I looked at a couple. I said I got to do a video on this. I knew they'd be a lot of angry gold and silver bugs, a lot of Bix bashing. So we're gonna take a deep dive into the insanity of the comment section of YouTube videos. First one, cryptos are a trap. Dun, dun, dun. That's it. That's the argument. Cryptos are a trap. I'm not going to delve into all the comments. I'm just going to talk about the top comment. I'm not going to delve into the comments of the comment, the replies to the comment. Number two, Bix is going to all my favorite websites and ruining them. Now Elijah's letting him pump his new snake oil on Finance and Liberty. Such a shame. On a bright side, though, I find I have a lot more free time on my hands since I started unsubbing all these YouTube channels that he and Cliff have corrupted. His whole good guy, bad guy shtick is a joke in the light of how fast he walked back everything he said about gold and silver for the last 10 years. The Fed decided that over 100 years of planning, they just changed their mind overnight, and now gold is worthless. I wonder if he realizes how pathetic he sounds these days. I trust the Zionist fiat more than I trust this fool's cryptos. If it wasn't so sad, I would be ROTFLMFAO. What do I say to this guy? I would say I don't see anywhere in this little comment where he said, I looked into the cryptos. I studied the cryptos. Oh, I understand what the blockchain means. I understand that it is an amazing technology that's going to inject honesty and truthfulness into our markets. I understand all that, but I still like gold and silver. The thought that I am a trader and all that, that's bullcrap. The world is changing. The world is changing. You better change with it or you're going to be stuck in the past. And, there are people still not using email. And I remember when the email came out and everybody was like, oh, who would ever send a letter over the internet? That's the craziest thing. What a bunch of snake oil salesmen, people trying to get me to use the email service. That's ridiculous. These people are the same way. And mainly because they didn't do their homework with an open mind. If you do your homework with an open mind and you fight your fight against your own understanding of how this thing works. I mean, a lot of people did do their homework and didn't come away with loving cryptos. I think Chris Dwayne did a lot of homework, not a lot, but enough to get him to say this is too challenging to my silver mantra that I'm not even I'm gonna block this out. I'm not gonna study the blockchain, what it is. I'm not gonna study all these new companies being invented with tokens that are useful in their crypto sphere. Anyway, let's move on. We'll just move on because there's gonna be a lot of real angry things about me. Don't worry. Here we go. This guy named President Trump. This dude is a clown. Where is this proof that the good guys have taken down the bad guys? Anyway, who's been taken down? How do we know the New World Order did not create Bitcoin? Elijah, you might as well bring back Bull Pony at this point. Go to roadtoruta.com. There's over 3,000 pages of proof of the battle between the good guys and the bad guys, how the silver market is rigged, how the gold market is rigged, how much gold there is in the world, massive amounts, like millions of tons of gold versus the 180,000 tons that they tell you. Basically, this guy's not doing his homework. Road to Ruta is an amazing gift to you guys if you want to learn about this stuff. 3,000 articles. So check out roadtoruta.com if you're looking for proof. Or you can check out the Fed Boston website and go to the Road to Ruta documents there. That's a proof for you. All right, keep moving. While the hard cold gold and silver bugs are too busy bashing cryptos on YouTube comments, the hybrid crypto gold bugs are stacking both. Not sure what that means. I don't believe in any of the crypto gold-backed cryptos because of the third-party risks. I mean, why? Well, you're not going to be using gold in transactions. Do you really need, what's better to have in a crypto as a backstop, an ounce of gold held by a third party or an open and honest blockchain that you can check and approve every transaction? Bix is turning a 180 degree each month. Well, if I do 180 degree each month, I've been running around in circles and circles and circles. No, I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward. I'm understanding what is happening, what is changing in our monetary system, what will be best for humanity going forward. Do we really want to crash the system, say goodbye to the cryptos, crash the system, and have hundreds of millions of people die because they don't have food, water, electricity, medicine, anything, until the government scramble to try to get gold and silver to distribute to the people so they can have coins to trust in? Because nobody trusts in gold and silver as money. Very few people trust in gold and silver as money today. They will have to learn. They will have to learn all about the philosophy of gold and silver. And then they'll probably say, well, why not just use cryptocurrencies? Because the philosophy is even stronger there. It has the same attributes as gold and silver, but I can use it on my cell phone. So, I'm not turning 180 and 180 and 180. I'm moving forward. And I would suggest many people dip your toes into the cryptocurrencies to learn about them so you can move forward as well. It's very simple. Gold and silver are money. Ta-da! That's it. That's all we need to know. Cryptocurrency is not. Gold and silver are not money today. We know that, right? Who uses gold and silver money today? They have been used as money in the past. They're not today. They're not gold and silver. They're not used as money. You will have to, because they've been demonetized by the banksters and taken out of the psyche of humanity for the most part. you're going to have to educate everybody as to why gold and silver are money once again, and that only happens after the system crashes if there's no other alternative. Luckily, the cryptocurrencies the cryptocurrency world is being built parallel to our old system that's dying on the vine right now. So I'll keep going on this. It's very simple. Gold and silver are money. Cryptocurrencies are not. Gold has been a stable store of value for thousands of years. Yes, but Bitcoin wasn't there to challenge it as an alternative to the unbacked fiat money. It's a very simple argument. Before the Fed, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Bloodlines, the Pope, King Tut, the Anunnaki, whatever. What? Gold has been a stable store of value before the Anunnaki? I don't know any monetary historian who can go back that far and really rely on any data that says gold was used as money before humans were here on Earth. That type of thing. Anyway, let's keep going. Cryptocurrency has no intrinsic value. Intrinsic value is a perception, my friends. Everybody tells me, oh, gold and silver have intrinsic value because you have to dig it out of the ground. That's intrinsic cost. That's an intrinsic cost. If you're on a desert island, and I talk about this in the video, and you're given a choice of what has more value, a piece of gold, a piece of silver, or a cheeseburger, the cheeseburger blows away the intrinsic value of the gold and silver. So gold and silver intrinsic value is a perception. It's gold and silver have value, sure. Gold has a store of wealth value at the moment. I think it will for a long time, but it's not very useful as money. Nobody's going to walk around with gold coins in their pocket again because they don't need to. They've got an alternative that is better in the cryptocurrencies. I've heard all the BS about how it takes much effort and computer power or electricity to mine Bitcoins, which is supposedly why they have value. But in the end, read more. Wow, Jesus, this guy goes off. In the end, it's virtual, and you have nothing, nada. Again, you're talking about cost of production. You're saying, oh, you got to dig it out of the ground so it has intrinsic value. That's ridiculous. They are ethereal, and energy spent mining Bitcoins is in the ether too. True. Our future's in the ether. The reason you're talking to me, or I'm talking to you on this video, it has to do with the ethereal value of computers, computer software. That's how important it is. You're looking at it every day. This is software we're dealing with right here. All right, anyway, if Bitcoin had intrinsic value, there'd be no reason to artificially cap the number at 21 million. Scarcity creates value. I don't even get what this guy's talking about, which, by the way, is great for early adopters. That's the key right there. That's what the guys are angry about. Given the choice today, this is for Chris Dwayne followers too. Given the choice today, if you knew today what the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will grow into, and you were given a choice back, 2009, 2010, to buy Bitcoin at $10 or buy silver, what would you do? Be honest with yourself. You're kicking yourself that you didn't buy the cryptos. I kicked myself I didn't buy the cryptos in the early days. I didn't understand it. Then I took time to study. I took years to study the cryptos and understand what they were. So be honest with yourself. If you'd still buy silver instead of the cryptos back in 2009, 2010, knowing what you know, that's fine. That means you're stuck to an ideology of silver and gold only. Bitcoin is only worth what someone is willing to give you for it, period. So is gold and silver. Duh. Whatever the future holds, whatever the fate of cryptocurrencies, right now they are speculative bets. True. And you can very well lose every penny you invest in them. Yes, that's absolutely a fact. Is it going to happen? I don't think so. You can lose everything you invest in gold and silver. Yes, you can. Don't say you can't, because you can. If I find a way to create silver from the atoms in the air, yes, silver goes to zero. If we find the largest silver mine ever discovered, or it is released, maybe we've already found it, like the gold in the Grand Canyon, millions of tons of gold stuck in the side of the Grand Canyon. Now it's at a military base that you're not allowed to go near. What would that do to the price of gold? It might drive it down to zero. I don't think it would, because there's a lot more monetary fiat money instruments out there. Anyway, does that sound like money? Gold is work manifest. It's real. Well, gold is work manifest. Because it costs you money to get it out of the ground and you have to dig and sweat of your brow, that gives it value? No, that adds cost to what it takes to pull it out of the ground. People don't get that. It's real. It's physical. It has intrinsic value for a multitude of reasons the interviewee is apparently unaware of. I think Elijah does a good job defending gold and silver. There's a huge difference between relative and intrinsic value, and the comparison of gold to water from the perspective of a dying man of thirst is idiotic. Then what is the true intrinsic value of gold? And his answer is either, oh, it had to be dug out of the ground. No, that's intrinsic cost. Or it's been used as money for thousands of years. Yes, it's been used as money for thousands of years, only because something like Bitcoin was not there to challenge it. Now it's here. It is here, and it is challenging gold, and the gold people are very sad. Gold as money does not have to be used in daily commerce, and in big past, larger denomination coins were rarely transacted. Now, that's funny. Gold is too scarce to be remonetized. I don't think gold is scarce at all. Read Gold Warriors by the Seagraves, and you'll understand what's going on with gold. What happened to the huge reserves in Chocolate Mountain and the Grand Canyon? They're sitting there waiting for the United States to get off this unbacked fiat monetary system. So how much gold had to be kept secret so as to not undermine the gold standard? That's it. I can't listen anymore. Good. I'm glad he's not listening to the video. I'm glad he's going to do his homework from what I told him. Study the cryptocurrencies. Understand what you're talking about before you dive into these chat rooms. And then you got your stuff. If you can't hold it in your hand, do you really own it? Right here. This is the Litecoin wallet that I hold in my hand. I can put $1 million on this wallet. I could put 1 penny on this wallet. I am holding Litecoin in my hand. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. I guess now this is true money because I can hold it in my hand. But now I got to burn this wallet because you guys saw my code. Damn. Yeah, these arguments are crazy. Ridiculous. There goes that wallet. Now I got to make another one. I'm holding out for Bix coin. Ha ha ha. There is a Bix coin coming in August. A silver Bix coin. It is really cool. It is a double strike lustered coin with numbers on the side. It's going to be really cool. It's the Road to Ruta coin. And I'm not saying I don't like silver. I love silver as an industrial metal. And the coins will be collector's items. I have no doubt. I believe Chris Dwayne is correct on that. Those who like the picture on the cover of the coin and what it symbolizes will pay more for it. So, yeah. But I don't think it'll ever be used as money because we don't need it anymore. Well, Elijah, show us the intrinsic value of Bix. I wasn't dug up out of the ground. My mom might say I have intrinsic value because she had to birth me, but that doesn't give people value. The intrinsic value of me is asking people to educate themselves. Get smarter. Don't get dumber. Don't stick to an old ideology. If the world is changing, there's no doubt about it. If you stuck to the world where you thought there'd be no such use or thing as the World Wide Web, you'd still be licking every stamp you send every time you want to tell somebody about your day. That has changed, and everything else is changing around the world of money. So be careful about not doing your homework and not doing your research. All right, I'll go on a little more, and these get a little old. Well, Elijah, show us the intrinsic value of Bix. Does he have a degree? Yes, I have a degree, 30 years in the banking industry. I was on the board of the Equipment Finance Association. I was the chairman of that committee. Worked for GE Capital, worked for GA Tex Corporation, all kinds of companies in equipment management and finance. Traveled the world setting up residual value guarantee programs. So yeah, I'll put my degree up and my work experience up against anybody. Is he a prophet? No, that's Cliff High. What makes him an expert in his opinions on his perception of things? Nothing makes me an expert. I'm not an expert in anything. I do the homework. It makes me more of an expert than the people who I'm looking at right here. But I never ask people to believe me out of faith. That's why I have 3,000 articles on the Road to Ruta about what the Road to Ruta theory is and what the cryptocurrencies are and what was going on at the Fed in the last 100 years and why that all is very important. So yeah, that's what makes you an expert, I guess, is that you've done your homework. And I offer it up for people for free. Well, not all of it's for free. The top section of the website is absolutely for free. Go in there and there's archives. If you want to learn about this stuff, just go back into the archives of the Road to Ruta. It's all there on paper, what the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston was doing in the 1960s and 70s to implement computer programs to rig the markets. And this comes directly from the Federal Reserve. It's not coming from Bix Weir. Ask yourself who, what's his name? It just blanked. The guy who worked at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Stephen DeVoe is his name. Military high intelligence, worked for the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, computer expert, was the adapter of the Road to Ruta comics on the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the Road to Ruta theory. That's diving behind the curtain and seeing what the Fed is really doing, what's going on behind the scenes. I've watched Bix for a long time. I speak from the hip end experience. Okay. I'll go on a couple more. Bix bashing is always fun. None of the cryptocurrencies are cross-platform, so for cryptos to work, you're expecting cafes and shops to list every single crypto against a cup of coffee. No, you don't need every single crypto. Of the 1,000 cryptos that are out there, 960 will probably be gone next year, and a whole bunch of new ones will come up. There are some cryptos that are useful for that. Bitcoin, it takes too long. I'm a big fan of Litecoin. It's getting faster and faster and cheaper. That's what we need. All right. Elijah, could the answer to the question as to why Bitcoin won't collapse to zero be the $45 billion market cap? It's actually $100 billion. And only 1% of people... Oh, okay. They're talking about just the Bitcoin market cap. I'll give them that. And 1% of people have even heard of Bitcoin. And the real mathematical truth comes from the blockchain. Most everyone has no idea what the blockchain is. Here's my question to you. When the World Wide Web was first introduced as a white paper in 1989 and adopted and put into play in 1990, did anybody know about the World Wide Web? No, nobody. What is the value of the World Wide Web today? We transact it. You're listening to this video on the World Wide Web. So that argument is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. New technologies, new anything. Yeah, of course, nobody knows about it in the beginning. It's the whole, it's not a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme, you're trying to pump the coins just for pumping sake. Everybody who says, I'm just a pumper because I'm going to pump it up and just sell. I rarely sell any cryptocurrency that I buy because I do my homework. I understand it's going to be around for decades, and I hang on to it. And yeah, if I have to pay rent, I might sell a crypto. I might sell some silver because I'm all in both those areas. But I'm not pumping and dumping. I'm pumping because I see the value in these cryptocurrencies and these companies that are being built around tokens. Veritasium is an amazing concept and amazing things that's going to save the silver market from itself. It'll replace the COMEX and the LBMA and replace it with something new and trustworthy, a blockchain-based, honest system. I mean, you guys should, all you gold and silver bugs should be begging the cryptocurrencies, Veritasium especially, to come in and inject honesty into the criminal exchanges. Anyway, where do we go? I'm getting a little tired of these. Let me see if there's any fun ones out here. Free energy forever. Ignorant crap. The ignorant crap is those who don't do their homework. Go look at all the people who have invented free energy and have been disappeared. Go look at all the patents related to free energy technologies that have been stuck away in national security for national security interest. Of course, oil is probably the worst thing to burn when you're driving a car. Look at the magnetic energy and all this kind of stuff. The good thing about the battle between the good guys and the bad guys, when the bad guys get taken out, it'll open up humanity to all these technologies, the Tesla technologies and things like that. Very exciting. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. Cryptos, by Bix's explanations, are continuing updating and improving. So they're clearly a pump and dump Ponzi scheme with zero inherent value. So as things get better and better and better, they are clearly a pump and dump Ponzi scheme. Ridiculous. The blockchain is useful, but to value open source coins because only so many can be mined is pointless because they just produce another better coin. Sure, if you produce another better coin, it's like producing something that's better than gold to use as money, which has been done. But that's the nature of humanity. We move forward and we replace old technologies with new technologies. I'm not saying I'm going to, I haven't even stuck with Bitcoin the whole way. I'm more interested in other coins that are doing things within companies, within exchanges. For as use as money, I like Litecoin better than Bitcoin because it's faster and cheaper. I don't see what the big issue is. New record, Bix took 30 minutes before he babbled about the Grand Canyon gold. Oh my God. One day when the truth comes out about our monetary system and all the hidden gold there is, and the whole gold in the Grand Canyon that you still can't go in there, and I was working on a book. The problem is I don't think the book is all going to be that all important by the time the monetary system crashes now. I don't think gold will be that valued in that scenario. Sure, the banks will cling to it, but the people won't. They've got another alternative in the cryptos. So, explain to me why 95% of the caves within the Grand Canyon are off limits to people to go to, or even hikers to go to. Explain to me that, and that's a fact. And all kinds of places within the Grand Canyon, you're not allowed to go there. And there are pyramids within the Grand Canyon, and you can believe it or not believe it. It's kind of like believing in that there was a giant race of human beings that were 8 to 10 feet tall that roamed the earth, when they found thousands, if not tens of thousands, of skeletons of these beings. The world is changing, and you better open your eyes to this stuff because it's not just internet hype. These are actual things that have gone on. The Smithsonian Institution was in charge of hiding all this stuff, and especially they were in charge of the Grand Canyon. And they had it locked up right before the Federal Reserve was invented, and you're not allowed to go there. This part of the Grand Canyon that has this seam of gold and billions of ounces of gold in the sand. Front page article in the New York Times, and I've done the research, and yes, these people are true, and it is the reason for the creation of the Federal Reserve System. But that's out the Road to Ruta website. So for a lot of these guys, they're never going to take the time to go to Road to Ruta and do their homework and study, which is sad. Anyway, we're getting near the end here. I'm not even going to the show more. Gold has never been useful as money. If I said that, it must have slipped out. It's never been the best form of money. I don't remember saying gold has never been used for money. It might have been something that I said during the interview speaking about gold. But the fact of the matter is that monetary historians have always said gold is not a perfect money, but it's the best we got. Well, times have changed, my friend. Now gold is no longer the best we've got. It's the cryptocurrencies that are being developed right now. Have we turned that corner from gold to crypto? Everybody going to be leaning toward crypto? I don't know. I think we're getting close. But right now, nobody's leaning at gold. Nobody. We have a fiat unbacked monetary system that 99.9% of the world believes in. The question is, when this dies, the fiat monetary system dies, are we going to go to try to believe in this old system that the old gold bugs are telling us to? Or will we look at this new crypto, a interactive system that you can use with your cell phone as you walk down the street, and it is secure, it is visible, it is you can approve it. You're required to approve it. Not required, but if you can mine it, you can all kinds of things you can do to make it more secure, and it's constantly evolving, constantly getting stronger and stronger. I think I'll end on that note. Anyway, that's a morning of delving through the comments of the Elijah Johnson interview. Elijah, 2 thumbs up for doing this. I know you don't do many crypto interviews because you're a gold guy and a silver guy, and all your subscribers are probably gold and silver guys. But I'm not saying the gold and silver. What I'd like to say is my final comment: gold and silver guys should be really excited that Bitcoin is doing well, because the faster the cryptocurrencies do well, the sooner the price manipulation of gold and silver. We're in for two reasons. One, all these crypto billionaires understand the value of money and the value of scarcity, and they need to hedge their possession because they're getting so rich in cryptos. I say balance your portfolio 50-50. So all the cryptos are going to be buying physical silver, which is great. The crypto millionaires and billionaires will be buying physical silver. And number two, the crypto technologies like Veritasium can come into the COMEX and the LBMA and turn them into honesty machines. And that's what we need on the COMEX and the LBMA is honesty and truthfulness in dealings and exchange of peer-to-peer. Because Veritasium introduces peer-to-peer transactions where somebody holds some physical silver, somebody wants to buy some physical silver, they get together, all the middlemen are taken out, the JP Morgans of the world and the DTCC and the Crimex and all that is taken out. So very exciting times, my friends. Again, my name is Bix Weir. Go to roadtoroota.com, sign up on the webpage to get free emails, and you get a free book. roadtoroota.com. We'll talk to you later.